Thank you for the warm welcome, Jim. It's always an honor to come and speak to you guys. Like you said, Andre Hollins. Went here from 2011 to 2015, and I think I'll kind of just take you through my time leading up to me coming here, my experience while I was here, me playing professionally overseas, and then kind of an update of what's going on now. So I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. Only child to my wonderful parents, Andrew and Donna. And I come from a basketball family. My dad played collegiately at Lane College in Tennessee. I have my cousins played at Tennessee, University of Tennessee, Knoxville, Ole Miss, Kent State, and UAB. So you could say basketball kind of runs in our bloodline. And my dad put a basket in my hand pretty young. I can't remember what age, but it's been there for a while. He kind of instilled in me the importance of hard work. And as I got older, I think I was around like 6 or 7. I started doing two-a-days as a 6 or 7-year-old. So he was he coached as well. He was a high school coach, and he moved over to administration. He was an assistant principal. So I was lucky enough to have gym access all the time, which was very important. I guess was important in my development. And he would run the summer school program. So we would wake up early enough for me to get an hour workout before he would have to go to summer school and manage that, and then I would kind of help him throughout the day, and then afterwards we would go back in the gym and we work out for another hour. Couldn't leave the gym until we had like 10 free throws in a row. So that's where my free throw shooting came from, because I was ready to go. So yeah, that kind of laid the foundation and set the standard for a lot of things in my life, to just work as hard as possible at whatever you do. And that kind of led me into a great situation. In high school, I was a budding basketball player. Got recognized by Coach Jesus Patino at White Station. In White Station, I don't know if you guys know, it's heralded as like one of the best academic and athletic high schools in the state. So I got the opportunity to go and talk to him, and he said I had an opportunity to have a great impact and start as a freshman. So I jumped at that, and given the academic program, which my parents were excited about, I enrolled and had a great 4 years there. Played with a lot of really good players. It was a unique situation because a lot of players there, I think I want to say 70% of the guys I played with through those 4 years went on to play collegiately. So that just goes to show you how much talent was on just one team, how much sacrifice, and how we had to come together and make things happen to be able to be successful, because any one of those guys could have gone to another school and been the star of starting. I always tell people, like, our starting 5 and the second group that we would scrimmage against, they kicked our butts all the time, and that made us better. That made us develop, and we went to 3 state championships. We won it my sophomore year, and to harp more on the players, I was fortunate to play with the McDonald's All-American in Joe Jackson. He went on to play collegiately in Memphis. Had an awesome career. Graduated, won Mr. Tennessee, Mr. Basketball. Excuse me. And he really gave me something to strive for. It was one of those generational type talents. I saw him. I was a freshman. He scored 40 points back to back as a sophomore, and I looked at him. I was like, "That's what I want. I want to be like this guy." So to have him kind of pave the way was really influential in my development. And once he left, a lot of people had doubts about White Station, and that really fueled the fire for me. And like White Station it's not gonna, go to the state championship. Joe Jackson's gone, White Station's done. So I really took that personally, and I kind of went back on what the foundation that my father laid. I just wanted to work hard. That summer, I think I worked the hardest I've ever worked, and like I did every rep as if it was my last. And I ended up having a great summer on the AAU circuit, and recruitment picked up. My AAU team, we went to the Super 64 and Adidas held. We went to that championship, and getting a lot of calls from coaches. Like I said, recruitment picked up, and after that summer, I sat down with my parents and decided to make my college decision before my senior year of high school. So I ended up dwindling that list down to Minnesota, Harvard, Auburn, Ole Miss, and Stanford. And I ultimately chose Minnesota to be able to come and play for a national championship coach, to play in the Big Ten Conference, play in Ohio State, play nationally televised games, coming into an environment where you feel accepted, it feels like family. Obviously, I had Andre Hollins here, no relation. Austin Hollins here, so I had some familiarity there. And there was also an opportunity, plan-wise, to come in and make an impact, given that we had two senior guards leaving, in Al Nolan and Blake Hoffhaber. So, I took that as a chance, opportunity. So this was I thought it'd be the best place for me, and it ended up being the best place for me. So made my decision for my senior year. Kind of led that momentum to. I'm proud to say that we went to the not state championship, but state tournament again my senior year. So White Station, we held our head, proved a lot of people wrong. We didn't win we didn't make it to the state championship. We lost to the eventual champions, but individually, I ended up winning Mr. Basketball. And I'm not an emotional guy, and don't get emotional a lot, but once I got in the car with my parents, I cried. I cried because I reflected on how much work I put in to get to that point, and how much people poured into me, and how much my teammates drove me, and just my friends, family, everyone. It just all came out at that moment, and this is one of the, I guess, significant parts of my life that led me to here. So I took that momentum and stepped on campus and had a great summer, and Coach Smith put the keys in my hand as a freshman. Was able to start. We started off pretty well. Early off, we ran into a bump in the road. Trevor Mbach went towards ACL, so then we had to figure things out. We had Rodney Williams. He was naturally a 3. He had to move over to the 4, so we had to kind of figure things out. Kind of once Big Ten hit that year, we were so-so, and we eventually picked it up and made a huge run in the NIT. Ended up making to the championship game. Unfortunately, losing to Stanford, but that trip, I think we were on the road like 2 or 3 weeks, like literally. We didn't step foot in Minnesota for that time, and we really bonded and got a chance to know each other, and we were in the trenches together, and that really led us into the next year, where it was my favorite year. My sophomore year was 2012, 2013. We got up to as high as 8th in the nation. we beat #1 Indiana, had a legendary court storm. We ended up making to the NCAA tournament, beating a great UCLA team who had, I think, 3 NBA players on their roster. We beat them by like 20. Then ran into a Florida team. They were stacked, and they were a great team. We didn't win, but that season was awesome. Just on the court, off the court, it was amazing. And then a little after that, Coach Smith gets fired. Everyone's blindsided by that. After so much success and improvement, NIT championship, then get to the tournament, win the game, and what's next? Then he's fired. So we all took that pretty hard because the family that we've grown to love, that we could become, is kind of being broken up. But we overcame that. Rich Pitino came in. We ended up having a pretty good year. The next year, not how we would have wanted, looking back from the sophomore year from the tournament. We ended up winning that year. I had some personal injuries there. I hurt my ankle pretty bad, and I was probably like 75% for half of the season. And I think we were maybe 1 game away from making to the tournament again. But like I said, we overcame, made a great NIT run, took it as an opportunity to continue to play, and brought a championship here. Then going on to my senior year, kind of reminds me of this team, this year's team. We were in the hunt. We were right there. But we just couldn't get over the hump. That year was pretty disappointing, honestly, from just the success, being one of the last teams to be playing in college basketball, to not making it into any tournament my last year. It was tough to kind of swallow, but that doesn't take away from the time I had here, the experience I had, the family that I built, and I'm still really close with to this day. So then after that, I think I graduated probably a semester early, and then Mo Walker and we went out to Vegas to start our training for our pro careers. I got a few NBA workouts, and then I ultimately decided to go overseas. Played overseas for about four seasons. The last one was about half a season. I was in Belgium, France, Germany, Hungary, Lithuania, Finland, and Sweden. The reason there's so many is because my second year, I split time between France and Germany, and my last year, played like half a season for Lithuania, Finland, and Sweden teams in there. And it went well. I had great experiences over there, met a lot of great people, was able to compete at a high level. And I came back, and I was kind of contemplating what I wanted to do. I was still training, and while I was training in Houston, my hip was bothering me more than it normally did. And I in college, it was something that I could fight through, but at this time I couldn't. Like, I really couldn't push off or really do anything. I'm like, I physically couldn't. So I came back to Minnesota, consultation with the doctor, and got an MRI, and he was like, yeah, you have arthritis in your hip. You have like the hip of a 50-year-old. So I'm like, oh, that's no good if I want to continue to play. He gave me some options to possibly have surgery, where it could make it better or it may not. So I ultimately just decided to stop, and this was a little bit to retire, and this was a little bit before COVID hit, and during that time, the world stopped, and I had the luxury to kind of just figure out what I wanted to do next, because a lot of times people don't have that opportunity. So I thought about doing real estate, being a realtor, and I ultimately came back to wanting to coach and be around the team. So I had a conversation with Rich Patino, who was still here, and had a conversation with Phil Miller, the assistant dean at Carlson. And the opportunity presents itself, so I enrolled for the full-time MBA program here 2020, and started as a graduate assistant. And it was an awesome 2 years from 2020 to 2022 to be able to come back, give back to the program, to be a part of the program as a coach. You know, it was fun. Like I had this perspective as a player, but now I had it as a coach, and to be able to pour back into the players and to see them use that and use my advice, it was really gratifying. It flew by. I don't recall getting a lot of sleep those 2 years. I was either studying in class, watching film, traveling for away games or at a game. So it was really a whirlwind, but it was an awesome time. Got engaged during that time. Did an internship at General Mills, in which they offered me a full-time position. And that's kind of leading me here to where I am today. I've been at General Mills since July of 22. Right now, I handle our capital budget in our R&D department, and I do some basketball training on the side. Try to keep up with Rachel. She's still playing. She's in Chicago now. That keeps me busy in the summer times, supporting her. We have a house in New Hope. I've taken up the hobbies of pickleball and golf. I actually played pickleball today earlier. So yeah, I think my success and where I am right now and how happy I am has a lot to do with my experiences here at the U, with the program, and I'm eternally grateful for that. Grateful for my friends, my family, my brothers, my teammates who've supported me throughout this entire journey. So thank you for allowing me to speak to you. It's always an honor, it's always a pleasure, and go Gophers.